Hey everyone, and welcome to Brad the DM Session 1. Welcome to Nehald. Nehald. Crap. I should have figured out how I'm going to pronounce it. Let's try it one more time. Nehald. Which is spelled Nehald. I'll have it captioned below, but yeah, just for reference. Basically, this is my actual session 1 for the campaign. The Barnroom Brawl was basically just a session 0 of, hey, let's get the party together. Let's have them united for a reason. And then, session 0.5 was just, oh, hey, we're traveling, character building, role-playing, etc., etc. Hey, we reached the village now. And basically, this is just, we enter a village, potential plot hook for the characters to get them involved with not only like a random mission, but also potentially introducing some cool, interesting, potential larger picture future stuff that I hope to use. I'm not sure really what else to say about it besides all that, but yeah. So, really quick just to recap, we stop in this town because, hey, we want to resupply. But there's something interesting going on. There's some sort of large attraction being set up in the center of town, and well, let's check it out. It could be interesting, or it could be another quest. Who knows? So hopefully this is interesting and engaging, and we will see how it goes. So, I think that's about it. Even though I have like 3 paragraphs here. I summed it up in a couple sentences, I think. But yeah, so let me get to the DM introduction. Alright, the DM introduction. And again, I'm just going to be reading most of this off the page, and then, we'll just cut as necessary. Alright, you've made your way close to the city. You're still on the road, and you can see people traveling the road as well. A few stare at you all curiously as they pass, but keep to their own business. Some show concerns about Fang, Darb, and Defendor. You reach the village entrance and walk into the town. Some recognize Bren, giving him a polite wave as you all pass. The town is pretty simple. 2 rows of buildings run parallel down the main street, and it ends in a T, with 2 other streets, going north and south. A large building at the center of the T seems to be an official building for town council, the mayor, etc. In front of the building, you can see 3 individuals. Bren points out the mayor, but isn't sure who the other 2 are. One seems to be a wizard with the grand robes and such. Minus the pointy hat, though, because, and Ash, you feel a kinship with the other, who's talking to the mayor. As you move into the town, you can hear their conversation. I assure you, Mayor, by putting our fast travel stone in your city, you're on the fast track to the future. The mayor rolled their eyes at that, focusing on a large stone set into the ground. The mayor seemed conflicted, but his eyes lit up when he saw Bren. Ah, Bren, good to see you. He rushed over holding out a hand to shake. Bren smiled, taking the hand. Good to see you too, Michael. Something going on? The stranger walked up behind Michael. Yes, we were discussing the installation of my newest invention, the Fast Travel Stone, patent pending. A new piece of gnome technology that allows travel from one location to another quite quickly. Bren nodded at that. Interesting. Could really make a difference here. The stranger smiled. Thank you. I was trying to explain as such to Michael, but as with any new idea, there are those who have concerns. And I was doing my best to allay those concerns when you showed up, friend. The gnome seemed annoyed with Bren, and his eyes casually passed over the others, stopping on Ash and Defendor. He moves toward her. Ah, young lady, you seem to be in a similar line of work to my own. Perhaps you could help assure the mayor of our work by perusing our blueprints. You do seem to know your way with a wrench. He studied Defendor for a few seconds before holding out a hand to Ash. And then, player interaction from here. Ash stares at him. Let me see your blueprints. I'm curious. The gnome took his hand back, nodding. Of course, straight to business. I like that. He reaches into his side pack and pulls out a rolled piece of paper. Don't steal any of my ideas, kid. Though, if you want, perhaps you and I could trade some secrets. He nodded to Defendor. Ash just raised an eyebrow. I'll keep it in mind, provided you have any ideas worth trading. The gnome chuckled. Then his eyes narrowed as he realized the thinly veiled slight, but he didn't press the issue. Alright. Give me an intelligence arcana check. This is a mix of artificier tech and wizard magic, so yeah, it's a little wonky. I had Ash rolled a 19, plus 3, and plus 3 for intelligence, plus 5 for arcana, so 27. You look over the blueprints and see some fascinating ideas, and you file a few things away for some of your own work in the future potentially. Again, I don't know what upgrades you want to make to your stuff, but hey, maybe you can get something from the plans. The mayor looks at you curiously as you study the plans. So, do they seem sound? Ash nods. Yeah. You know, you're trying some new things that I hadn't considered myself, but everything seems sound to me. The mayor then looked to Bren. Should I trust her word? Bren nodded. Michael, I would trust this young woman with my life, and I actually have. I meant to talk to you about that, actually, when you have the time, of course. Michael nodded, understanding. Bren had something to tell him, but he addressed the gnome first. Fine. You can do your experiments here. Just be mindful of the people around here, and I want your word that no one will be hurt by this. The gnome nodded. Of course. You have my word. We have everything that we need, and your village will be the second to have a travel stone. We made an agreement with the dwarves, as well for supplies. These stones are quite special. Marnie, are we ready for the test run? The gnome wizard walked forward, holding a gem in the shape of a key in her hand. Yes. Quite ready. I have the keystone ready when you are. Again, sorry for my, lacking in girl voices. It's hard to do, because I got a lot to read. 11 pages, apparently. Alright, splendid. Let's get the word out for our demonstration, Elias said with a smile. I apparently named the gnome wizard at some point, and I forgot to put it in here. My apologies. Elias said with a smile. He reached into a bag on his belt and pulled out a megaphone. Now, a magic megaphone, because magic. Don't question it. Ladies and gentlemen, step right up and see the wave of the future, the newest form of travel for those in quite the hurry. The fast travel stone. Patent pending. Also, I like the patent pending joke. I stole it from The Simpsons when Homer did it. Marnie rolled her eyes at that, but continued to stand beside the stone and using her magic threw flares into the air to get more attention. You know, blue, green, red. Just pew pew pew. Because we didn't have wacky, arm-waving, inflatable tube-mans, apparently. Curious passers stopped to see what the commotion was about. Elias, after having a good-sized crowd, stood on a small platform near the stone. Folks, welcome to the first public demonstration of the Fast Travel Stone. Patent pending. With this wonderful stone, one can travel from city to city in the blink of an eye, and it will change the world as we know it. Some scoffed, others were genuinely curious, especially the kids who love seeing magic. Elias seemed to love the attention. You got the impression he was like, used car salesman in our world, or a snake oil salesman. Foreshadowing? I don't know, I haven't written that far yet. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the future. He then took the key and pressed it into the stone. Suddenly, a map of the continent seemed to form on the stone. Dar was shocked, mouth wide open. Whoa, cool! Thing was curious and tense, ready for battle. Ready for trouble. Again, kind of on edge fighter. Dadecker stared, studying the map. There were 2 points of light on the map. One was blue, the other orange. Yes, reference to Portal. Best I could come up with, guys. Come on, give me something. One was blue, the other orange. Based on the map, the blue point was the current location, and the orange was to the south a ways and east. When Elias touched the orange spot, a doorway opened on the stone. Wide enough for a wagon and about 15 feet high, so a merchant could fit through easily. I might just also base it off... No, wait. I was going to say dimension door, but that's for, like, based on your own size, and yeah. Never mind. Anyway, the audience oohed and awed at the spectacle. On the other side was a mountain, the portal near the base where a mine could be seen. Several dwarves stared through the gate at the crowd, seeming just as surprised as we were. Elias stood in front of the gate. Good day, folks. Told you I'd be seeing you again soon. He moved to the portal and stuck his arm through. The dwarves backed away, shocked. He grabbed a small stone from the ground and brought his hand back through. He tipped his hat, then, tapping the orange map symbol again, the door closed quickly. I gotta do my own effects, too. Trying to find a good, quick stopping point. Turning around, he showed the crowd the stone in his hand. A good 50 miles away at least. Are you not impressed? The crowd erupted in applause, clamoring to move closer to the gnome to see this for themselves. Ash, rubbing her chin, muttered to herself. They pulled it off. Well done. Dadecker was in stunned silence. Fang relaxed after the portal had closed, and Darb was babbling about how cool and amazing that was. Oh my god, guys, did you see that? He freaking... There was a portal, he stuck his hand through, and he got the thing, and... Dude, cool! Yeah. Again, Darb is me. Also, the audience started to get, hey, this is cool, you should, like, pay attention. Right, anyway. With this technology, we could change the world. Delivery of goods and services could be improved drastically. In times of trouble, assistance could reach you faster. Why, even traveling to see family and friends could be made more convenient, Elias explained, beaming to the crowd. You know, many seemed on board with the idea and were muttering happily amongst themselves. I'm not asking for much, but any donation to the furthering of our work to connect to larger cities like Bayerden would be most appreciated. Ash sighed at that. Yeah, work like that isn't cheap, she muttered to herself. Elias continued. We will be in your fine village a few days before we press onward, so for those curious about the fast travel stone, or any of our other works, by all means come and see us. With that, Elias gave a bow and left a small stage to applause from the crowd. Elias walked over to Ash and the others. Well, what did you think? Were you impressed? Darb nodded enthusiastically. Sorry, yeah, I've never seen anything like that. Well done. Fang nodded. You should be proud. Elias bowed. Thank you for the kind words. I was wondering if I could meet with you and your team. I have a proposition. They looked to one another. Sounds interesting, but we already have a job. Escorting Bren to Bayerden. Bren stepped forward. I mean, we did stop to pick up supplies in town, so I can get some rations and other supplies while you help out our friend here. And I do need to speak with the mayor. Fang nodded. Well, Mr. Browning, it would seem we have some time on our hands. What do you need? And also, really quick, if you did not catch the gnome wizard's name, his name is Elias Browning. That is a reference to Back to the Future. Emmett Brown. Wow. Blah, blah, blah. And then Marnie is just a play on, you know, Michael J. Fox's character, Marty McFly. But in this version, she's actually an artificier and he's a wizard, because, I don't know, I just went with it. So, they are good guys who are on the level behind the scenes, but for now anyway. But, you know, I just like that reference. I like those characters. And actually, you know what? I'm going to make a quick cut there, because that feels like a nice spot. So, basically, oh hey, we have time on our hands. What is it that you need? I'm just going to pause and then just recut this so it works out nicer. So, 1 second. Anyway, part 2 of the story. This might be 3-4 parts. I don't know. I'll try and put it in here just so you have some reference. Alright, excellent. I just need you to accompany me to the mine. We have a trade agreement with them. We can obtain materials and then return to our shop here. Simple enough. You know, Elias explained. He led the party back to the first the fast travel stone. Watch your step using the stone. The movement from one location to another can be jarring to some. Dar bounced with excitement as the portal opened again. Oh, this is going to be so cool, man. It's great. Again, he's kind of like a small town dude. He hasn't seen a whole lot of, like, grand wizard magic. You know, he's used to his own stuff so far, and that's about it, and a few odds and ends, but, like, something like this is kind of crazy. Again, just kind of like an audience surrogate for, oh, hey, like, something like this isn't common. So, yeah, anyway. Dar brushed through the portal and, standing on the other side, smiled and waved to the group. Holy cow, cool, it worked! Let's go! You know, Feng eyed the portal before stepping through carefully and slowly. Dar gave her a thumbs up as she walked over to him. Dadeker studied the portal for a few seconds before walking through. Ash and Fendor following behind. Ash studying the edges and looking back through as well. Elias was the last through before closing the portal by tapping the blue point on the map. On their side. So I think that's the where you are location point. Hopefully I'm consistent and I got that right. Right. Remember, folks, always close the door behind you, he said with a chuckle. Again, potential foreshadowing. Like, if this becomes a big thing in the story. As long as I don't forget to use it. Or make it a thing. That's more common. We'll see what happens. Elias then turned and led the way toward the mountains. The group could see elements indicating a mine entrance. You know, car tracks, large supplies of stone, and people busying themselves about the area. Some wearing hard hats with small lights attached. Elias approached two who seemed to be looking over a clipboard and discussing something. Excuse me, gentlemen. I'm looking for Head Miner Reynolds. I am Elias Browning, and I have returned for some supplies. The two lowered their clipboards and looked him up and down. We're familiar with you, Mr. Browning. Head to the foreman's tent. I don't have much to say on your deal at the moment. We have our own problems to solve. Elias frowned, but nodded. Very well. Have a good day, and thanks for the assistance. Elias led the party to the foreman's tent, smiling and shaking hands with any he came across. The expressions were concerned and sour, Feng noted. There's something wrong here, she said offhandedly. Perhaps this isn't the time to talk of trade, Mr. Browning. Elias ignored that with a hand wave. Nonsense. Nonsense. Trade is the lifeblood of any enterprise, and it benefits both of us. The group entered the tent where a small group was discussing something urgent. A red-haired dwarf at the head of the table looked up and frowned. Sorry, just trying to figure any voices is tough. Mr. Browning, I apologize, but we have to talk of our trade agreement later. I have urgent matters to attend to. I'm just going deep. Best I can come up with. Perhaps I could be of assistance. What kind of trouble do you have? Elias asked, stepping toward the table. The dwarf sighed and looked at him. We've run into trouble in the mines. Over the last week, a few of my guys say they were attacked by something in there. And today it actually hurt one of my men. Until further notice, we are stopping operation within the mine until we sort out what is attacking my team. However, none of us are built to handle these types of issues. Yeah. What he's trying to convey there is, like, it could be a wild animal or something. You know, they're not fighters, they're miners. Dwarves are tough, but if you're not really trained to, you know, like, take on big scary monsters in the dark, yeah, maybe get some professionals in. The dwarf looked over the party and frowned, considering them, taking special note of Darb and Fang specifically. Who are these people? Who are these people traveling with you? Perhaps they could help us. Elias smiled at that. They are currently assisting me in transport of materials, but they do seem quite capable. I have an eye for that sort of thing. Head Miner Reynolds nodded. I can sense that as well. We will compensate you for your efforts, of course, and goodwill with dwarves is always good. We're quite capable. Opens, you know, I don't know, potential upgrades and blacksmith and yada yada. Again, that's just starting out. I'm making it up as I go. No one stepped forward to say anything. You know, Darb was surprised. Ash didn't seem interested. Dadecker was considering the situation, looking at trying to get a look at the map. Fang looked at the others before saying anything. What is it you would like us to do, she asked. And also, really quick, Fang is clearly kind of becoming like the leader type, for like at least certain elements of this. Because she has experience in traveling alone and fighting stuff and yada yada. Reynolds met her eye. Check out the mines and find what's been attacking our workers and take care of it as you see fit. Fang thought about the offer before looking at the rest of the group. Is everyone okay with pursuing this? Darb looked at the miners and then back to Fang. Yeah, it's what heroes do, he said, giving a thumbs up. Ash closed her notebook and looked up. Well, if we don't fulfill the agreement, we won't get that keystone, and it would come in handy. Dadecker seemed lost in his own thoughts when Fang walked up to him. Dadecker. Duh. He looked up shocked. Sorry, just thinking, but yes, I feel that we need to address this situation for these hard workers. Fang studied him for a few seconds longer before nodding. We'll accept the quest. We'll scout the mines and find what's been attacking your crew. Do you have a map for us to make reference to? Really quick, I did draw up a quick basic map. Don't hate on it. So I'll put it up here. Poof. The mine map. Again, basic map. Reynolds nodded. Of course. We've dug quite a ways into the mountain, with side tunnels branching off. The troubles seem to be coming up in the eastern tunnels. He pointed to X's on the map. The tunnels are fairly new, but according to our survey, there shouldn't be anything living in or near the area. Any dangerous subterranean creatures live far to the north and deeper within the mountains. Alright, Fang continued. Do we know of anything that might move or migrate, maybe looking for food? Reynolds shook his head. We don't know of anything that would come near us. Most things just want to be left alone in their caves and avoid us. Fang nodded again. Very well, you can stay here. The four of us will go into the mine and check things out. Looking at the party. You all can see in darkness, right? The group nodded. Right. Regardless, can we borrow some torches just in case there's trouble? Reynolds nodded. We can spare 2 for each of you, and some flint to light them. Do be careful. We would like them back when you're done. Fang nodded. Of course. I'd like light on our side just in case it gives us an edge against something dangerous. Dadecker seemed to pale at that. Quickly taking his torches and heading for the exit, Fang looked at Ash, who shrugged. We'll address that in a minute. Right, we'll head for the mines and return shortly. Can you post some men at the mine entrance just in case? Fang explained. Reynolds nodded slowly. Yes, we have stopped work for the time being. I could set 2 to watch the entrance. You seem to know your way around these type of things. Ms. My name is Fang. I'm a mercenary. I handle situations. And these are my colleagues. I looked to Elias curiously. Elias seemed just as surprised. But, trying to save face. You know me. I only work with the best. Fang waved the others to follow her as they left the tent to meet Dadecker, who was kneeling and praying. She politely waited for him to finish and stand before she spoke. Is there something you'd like to tell us? Fang asked. Darb could tell she was frustrated, but at least showing compassion. Dadecker sighed and said, I do have some reservations about going back into the mines myself, honestly. It was about 10 years ago. I was a miner myself. There was a tunnel collapse, and a number of us were trapped for about a week. It was not a pleasant experience in the dark. A small spot of light shone down, and it kept us going. After we were saved, and we all were, to be clear, I had looked to a few religions about light, and now I follow Heimdall because of it. Dadecker's a domain of light cleric, so, and Heimdall was one of the gods mentioned in the player's handbook. So yeah, that's why I went with him specifically, rather than like Apollo or any other gods that are light based, because I know dwarves are associated with Oh God, freaking Vikings. Also, I'd recently, seen God of War Ragnarok, and I played God of War, the fourth game. Cut me some slack here. Right. Da 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 da. Fang walked forward and put a hand on his shoulder. I understand. Do you feel comfortable coming with us? Dadedecker looked to the mine and then back to Fang. I made an oath to bring light to others, and clearly these miners need our help. I'll manage. He gave a slight smile. Ash walked over and gave him a hug. Hey, we're in this together. We'll be safe. Together. Dark chuckled. We'll make a good story. Overcoming one's fears and helping people. I'll make it sound epic. Maybe make you the hero, man. No. It's gonna be all of us. A team thing. Maybe you'll get a little more credit. We'll see. Let's get this over with. Again, that's just some funny character building. Fang shook her head at that. Right, if we're all in agreement, we'll explore the mines, sticking specifically with the east side to start. If there is an issue, we'll deal with it. We don't know what to expect, so eyes and ears open. Got it? The group nodded. Darb held up a hand. Have you done this before? He asked. Fang shook her head. Not mine specifically, but dealing with bandits and such, there are some common rules to follow. I'll lead. Darb, I think you should take up the rear, just in case we get attacked from behind. It'll be dark, and whatever is in there may use that to its advantage. Dadedecker, Ash, you two in the middle, obviously. Maybe have Defendor hang back with Darb in case he needs assistance. With that, I don't have any more, preamble to entering the mine, so we're going to get into the section I marked as entering the mine. So yeah, I will cut to that. You walk to the mine and note two individuals outside. They're both holding clubs and nod to you as you approach. Boss told us about you. Thanks for the help. We don't have anyone in the mine currently. Darn it. Sorry, that's a yawn from me, not them. And if you get lost, check the walls for arrows indicating directing you toward the exit. They should be roughly every 10 yards or so. If there are no questions, we'll let you proceed. Trying to work in an accent, too. As for, the markers on the walls, pointing towards the exit, I don't know how they do that in mines, but I figured there's, something to indicate, hey, here's the exit, please come this way, so people don't get lost forever. It's what I came up with. I'm making stuff up. Let's let it slide. Alright. Fang nodded. Thank you. If there's any trouble, we'll let you know. We'll walk into the mine and check out the eastern tunnels first. When it seems dark enough, we'll light the torches. Darb and I will carry them. The group nodded once more and proceeded into the mine. Fang led and the others followed. She led them toward the branch that led to the east tunnels and took out one of her torches and lit it, passing it to Darb. The second she lit and held over her head. Ash handing her an unlit torch. Basically just trying to keep the numbers of torches, even. In case you need it, she explained. Fang nodded, then looking to the group. I don't know what we're going to find here. Could be a monster or maybe someone sabotaging the operation. We need to be ready for a fight. The group looked around uncomfortably for a few seconds. Sabotage? Ash said with a troubled look. We dealt with bandits, and it's not out of the question someone might be greedy and guarding something in the eastern tunnels. Fang explained. Oh. Ash said. Darb looked troubled too. Dadedecker looked curiously at the walls. I don't see any issues with the walls so far, but we are still in the main area of the mine. We don't know anything until we go further. And just to establish, this is after they've gone a good amount of distance into the mine, probably at one of the first branches toward the east side. So that way they're out of earshot of the guys at the entrance, just in case, it's not great to hear, hey, somebody on your team might be screwing with the operation. Fang nodded. Right. We won't know anything until we go further. Fang nodded. Exactly. I just wanted to make sure we all knew of the possible issues. Fang turned and started down the tunnel, the others following. And then just a quick cut to Brad the DM. Honestly, I don't have much here besides letting the party walk, make a couple perception checks along the way to see if there are any issues. Here's definitely open for others to insert different rooms and tunnels. My story, for the most part, is just going to be pretty straightforward. And quick spoilers for what is coming. Basically, there are subterranean monsters that are in this area. So, maybe you make some perception checks and, you hear, like, rocks tumbling, not too far off. Or, like, strange insect-like noises or something. Maybe give the party pause. Maybe they run into issues earlier on. I don't know. I'm just throwing out there, hey, what you could do. Anyway, back to the story. The group explored the mines. There seem to be strange sounds every so often, but they don't run across anything until they come near the end of the current expansion. Fang stopped short of the wall. She noted a hole that seemed large enough for a person to pass through. Is this normal, she asked? They were in a slightly larger area. There were some veins of different minerals branching off. So they reached this point recently and stopped. They must have disturbed something around here. Fang walked over to the wall and looked at the hole. Holding the torch up to see inside, it was crudely dug, as if by an animal. Seems like an animal of some kind. Do we know of anything large that tunnels in the area? Fang asked. There's nothing in this area. Right, there's nothing in this area, but there are a number of creatures in the mountain regions. Fang was about to speak. Somebody said, there's nothing in this area, but there are a number of creatures in the mountain regions. Fang was about to speak again when the wall began to rumble. We got trouble, people. The group came together, forming a small circle, when boom, boom! On either side, a pair of large insect-like monsters popped out of the ground. They had large claw-like arms and snapping mandibles. Really quick, I'm going to make a cut here, because I have a quick battle map for this as well. Just to establish like where everybody is, all the stuff, yada yada. It's interesting. So I will show you that really quick. Poof. Also, I have to work on making up my own battle music. I also have to find an instrument I'm good enough with to try and make battle music. So I'm not going to say I have anything in here right now, but I will eventually. Okay? That's all I got to say. I will eventually. Alright, for reference, the monster that I'm using is an Ankheg. They are found in the monster manual on page 21. An earth-burrowing monster that subsists on a lot of soil, but also meat from whatever it can get. Animals, people, etc. The book doesn't have much about the monster, so I'm just inserting some stuff here myself. These were buried within the mountains long ago, and have recently hatched because of the mining operation. Ankhegs are known among underground dwelling folk, dwarves, gnomes, drow, etc., with no sightings within the last 100 years near this area. They're hungry and food is right in front of them, so let's go to combat. Everyone roll initiative. Okay, off to my side. I will put down the initiative order that I had. Basically, it started with Defendor with a nat 20. And his +1, so 21. Ankheg A with an 18. Ash also with an 18. Basically, I had a roll off between the two, and the Ankheg won, so it got to go before her. Fang at 15. Darb at 13. Dadecker at 6. And Ankheg B at 4. Whew. Okay, now I'm running combat. I did this before, but doing it again, and now, like, basically I just have it divided up into, okay, who's going, and, the cool dialogue they say, and yada yada, their action, hit or miss, etc., etc. So, hopefully this is a bit more interesting and dynamic. Alright, so, Defendor going first. Stand down, or you will be attacked, he said to Ankheg B. The insect monster snapped its pincers in response. Darn, sorry. a Defendor pawed at the ground and hit it with Force Empowered Rend. Which basically, I'm just saying is like, whenever goats, charge you. Because he's a goat. Roll for attack, and miss. Defendor tries to hit the beast, but it moves barely avoiding the shot. So moving on to Ankheg A. The beast roars and spits acid at Fang. Fang has to make a DC 13 Dex save. There we go. Fang passes the save. She still, unfortunately, takes 5 damage. It's one of those, even if you pass, you take half damage. So she took 5 damage. She told the creature was about to spit and dived out of the way, but she was hit in the leg, or, potentially in the forearm by some acidic spit. And basically, some burns, but she's fine. Ash hearing the attack to her Fang, she turns and fires at the monster with her pistol. Bastard! And pull trigger, and miss. Basically hits the wall. Shit! Fang, angry at the attack, glares at the beast. You want to spit acid? Try this! And she uses her breath weapon. A DC 11 Dex save. The monster failed, so it took 2d6. Or wait, no, I guess it passed, so it took 5 damage. If I've got this right. Yeah. Passed the save, took 5 damage. Right. Anyway, moving on to Darb. I face the monster. Not wanting to get close, I cast Shatter with the sphere, of attack centered on the beast. It's a 13 DC con save. It passed, so it took half of 3d8. And unfortunately, Defendor was right next to that one, because this is Ankheg B. And Defendor took a good amount of damage. 12 damage. 6 for the other guy. For the Ankheg. Turning to see Fang staring down the monster, he gives her bardic inspiration. Oh, mighty Fang, she stood true against the monster's wrath. I couldn't think of anything better, and I'm trying to do this quick. Don't at me. Daedeker, having seen the monster attack Fang, he prays to Heimdall and unleashes Guiding Bolt. You may hide in the shadows, but there is no escape from the light. Hit. 5d6, which was a total of 16 damage. Right. I don't know how that... Yeah. 5d6 damage for 16. Next attack has advantage as well. The monster hisses and shrinks away from the blast that scorches it, waving its clawed hands angrily. Oh, dear God. I'm going to have fun as a DM if I ever do this for real. Ankheg B. With Defendor so close, the Ankheg tries to bite it. With a roar, the beast lunges at Defendor. And it misses. So basically, it misjudged the distance and just got a face full of dirt. I'm not diving towards my camera. I don't want to hit it. Defendor. Have at you, monster. Force Empowered Rend again. Basically, he just tries to smash it with his horns and face. Defendor swings its head, but the Ankheg avoids the shot. Defendor is really bad at hitting stuff. Ankheg A. Angry at Fang's attack, it rushes toward her, trying to bite at her. Misses. Fang easily dances out of the way, and the creature is next to her now. So basically, just really close. Ash's turn. I can see it better now. Thanks. She takes aim with her pistol and fires. Bang! Hit. 3 damage. The shot hits one of its arms, and the beast looks in her direction angrily, snapping. Snapping its mandibles or claws or whatever. Fang. I enter rage. Basically, from the acid spits and the getting right up in my face, I'm pretty pissed off now. I enter rage. Remembering the attack so far, Fang roars with fury, shaking the room. Pulling out her great axe, she swings at the beast. She swings wildly and misses. But she gets a bonus frenzy attack. which hits 14 plus 2 for, well, the total damage is 16. I forgot what she rolled. I know she rolled it proper, though. Anyway, with a yell, Fang lops the monster's head off, and the body falls to the ground with a wet thud. The head bounces off the wall. Darb. Also, the Bardic Inspiration, I think it helped. When Fang yelled out, he turned around. His jaw dropped when she cut the beast's head off with her axe. Holy shit. He turned back to face the beast in front of him. This is a bad idea, he muttered to himself. Rushing in between Defendor and the Ankeg, he cast Thunderwave. Basically, he did a knee slide and just strummed on his lute, just... Ankeg B failed the con save. 19 damage to it. It was crazy. Daedeker turns away from Fang's attack because the fight's over, but also, he does not feel like seeing that. Seeing Defendor so badly damaged and Darb's desperate maneuver to protect the automaton, he prays once more to Heimdall. Please protect us. Please protect us and destroy this foul beast. Guiding Bolt. Hit. 17 damage. The beast throws up its clawed hands to protect itself from the blast, but it's like the sun is in the room and just cooks the beast. Basically atomizing it, so, there's like ash on the ground. And that's the combat. It was great. It was awesome. I loved taking off the head of the one and just disintegrating the other. For a good visual for like disintegrating the second one, imagine when Cell fought Gohan. And I will try and find a quick clip for that, and I'll try and work it in here because it's great. So, hoof. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Post-combat. Fang is still on edge for a few seconds after the second monster was slain. Once she felt sure the fighting was over, she let out a long sigh and leaned on her axe for support. Good. We got them. Daedeker, concerned, moved toward her. Are you alright? Fang nodded. Yeah, going all out like that really takes it out of me. But I'll be fine with rest. Daedeker looked her over for a few more seconds before turning to Darb and Ash. And you too. Darb nodded. Yeah, I'm fine. That was, that was intense, man. Ash rushed over to check on Defendor. Systems check, she said, looking him over. Defendor. I've taken exterior damage. I will begin internal repair process. Ash nodded. Confirmed. Activate self-repair. Defendor used the repair action, which is 2d8 plus proficiency bonus, for a total of 12. So the 12 damage he took. So he's 100%. I am back to 100% functionality. Ash sighed. Glad to hear it, buddy. And she patted its head before looking to Darb. What were you thinking? You almost destroyed him with that magic of yours, hero. She walked angrily toward him, holding a hammer in her hand. Hey, whoa, hey, we were in a fight. I panicked. You saw those things. I wasn't going to risk getting near it myself. Darb said, holding up his hands. Ash glared at him as Defendor walked up next to her. I am all right. It is my job to protect you and your friends. He then looked to Darb. Please be more careful in the future. And thank you for the thunder wave pushing the beast away. Darb nodded. Sorry about that. You're welcome. I don't want to see you get destroyed. Ash looked at Darb's face for a few seconds to see if he was being honest, and after a moment she felt that he was. Just be careful next time, she said, before turning to Daedeker and Fang. Alright, so what's our next move? Ash asked. Fang stood up. We take the head and we head back to the foreman. Maybe they know something of these monsters. Darb, do you think you can handle it? I need to save my strength. Darb looked at the head and exhaled disgustedly. Do we have a bag or something? He asked. Daedeker looked around the room. Investigation, 17. So he found a bag left by one of the miners. And honestly, I'm going to give him inspiration for that because I didn't think about, hey, do you guys have any extra bags or something to carry the head in? But hey, we thought of the idea, ran with it, so it's simple, but I felt like being nice. I don't think it'll quite cover the head, but it'll have to do. He held open the bag and gestured toward the head. Darb sighed and walked over to the head, trying to find a good way to pick it up without getting sick himself. The head fell into the bag with a gross thud, a bit of it still looking out of the top. So basically, just imagine scary face poking out of a bag. Like, I think it was Walking Dead. They had like a zombie lady's head in a bowling bag. The Telltale series. Don't ask. Just acknowledge it and let's just move forward. Alright, let's move out. We don't know if more... Suddenly the ground started to quake. Run! Fang yelled, realizing what was happening. For this, and for other potential traps, basically I called for an athletics check. I said for this one, 10 to pass. Darb got a natural 20. Dadecker rolled a 4. Ash rolled a 17. Fang, who was rolling at disadvantage because of exhaustion after raging, rolled a 5. And Defendor rolled a 12. This check was to see how quickly everyone got out of the room. Darb, because of your 20, I'll allow you to help Fang or Dadecker because they failed, if you want to give them another roll by helping them. The check will be higher for their success, and there may still be some complication. And Darb, my character, said, yeah, sure, I'll help out Fang then. Fang, athletics roll. She got a 15 on that one. So, for that second check, I made the check a bit higher, like 15. So, she just passed it. So, here are the results of that. Ash is out of the door before anyone else, and into the tunnel. As in the room, the ground explodes as a giant monster has appeared. Basically, it's another one of these ankhegs, but it's larger. Like, if these things were like probably like around 5 to 6 foot, this thing's got to be like 8 or 9 feet tall and like huge. Defendor lags behind, reaching the doorway and stopping to wait for the others. Darb was ready to rush out of the door, but saw Fang stumble and caught her. Dadecker was on her other side helping support her, but he tripped and fell a few steps behind as the first Ankheg caught up to him, going for an attack. Originally, there were going to be multiple Ankhegs, but after conferring with the people, I changed it to just one giant one to make it more interesting. Basically, my buddy Chris, suggested, hey, like, why not make like an Ankheg, like, matriarch kind of thing? So, like, Mama Bear is pissed off that you destroyed 2 of her kids. But yeah, so, the first Ankheg caught up to them and is going for an attack. I'm going to pause here so I can get everything in this. Okay, Ankheg 1 bites at Dadecker. For this, because it's not an actual combat, he's just like slashing at him. He hits for 10 slash damage. Ah! Dadecker cries out when the clawed arm rakes his back. Darb pushes Fang forward. Ash, help! He calls as he rushes back toward Dadecker and the monster. He moves to get in between Dadecker, and the Ankheg. Eat this, he yells, and he goes for another Thunder Wave. Again, another DC 13 con save that the monster failed, so it was pushed back 10 feet and took 9 damage. Ash is back near the door, pistol drawn as Darb just blasted the Ankheg. It's knocked back, and the other 3 were still some distance away. Oh, it's knocked back. Sorry. Because originally it was going to be 4 Ankhegs, but I changed it to hay. Big one. Perception check, for Ash really quick. She rolled a 19. You can hear the sound of voices down the tunnel and footfalls echoing. People are running into the tunnel now. Down here! She called out, turning back in the room. She dashes forward and fires her pistol at the Ankheg. She hit it for 1 damage, so... Pew! The shot catches the Ankheg in the shoulder, slowing it again. She reaches the others and casts Grease to trip up the monster. Brad the DM, I'm allowing it because Darb stunned her with Thunder Wave, and the shot slowed it down also. Also, they're not officially in combat, so, yeah. Also, we're going to find out that was a really poor mistake on my part in a few minutes. Alright, Defendor will rush back to the group to see if he can, offer any assistance, maybe carry somebody or something if necessary. Fang waved her hand. Quickly, we have to leave. Now, she ordered. The others went to run, but Dadecker seemed frozen in place, staring at the monster. Dadecker, now! Dadecker shook his head, though. No. That monster is shrouded in darkness. We can't leave it. We must destroy it. Run if you must, but I cannot. Fang looked to the others. We're in this again. Don't take any stupid risks. Understood? The group nodded, setting up for the fight. Roll initiative. Again. Again, I'll have the list scroll down next to me, which I think I'll do for all group dice checks, just so you guys can see, oh, okay, here's the yada yada. So, Darb rolled a 19. Fang rolled an 18. The Egghead Queen rolled an 18. Basically, this thing is not in the monster manual. I just took the normal stuff and I upped its stats a bit. I doubled the life of it from 39 up to 70. Doubled would really be 78, so closer to 80. But I decided 70. That's just the random number I went with. I also gave it one extra AC point, because, again, it's bigger. Probably should have went 2, but yeah. And then it took 10 damage pre-fight, just for reference. Thunder Wave and the pistol shots. Anyway, Defendor rolled a 15. Dadecker rolled a 15. So, in relation to, same team, you guys just figure it out. Who wants to go first? And then Ash rolled a 3. Alright, so Darb's up first. Darb pulls out his sling and loads a rock into it and flings the stone at the monster. Fail. The shot goes wide and hits one of the tunnel walls. Tink, 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 tink. Again, he's kind of like a new adventurer, so he didn't really have, a good bow or anything. And a sling is, basically... I'll just, show a picture or something of a sling for, tossing stones. You get the idea. You've seen slingshots. It's basically one of those, but you have to whip it around. So, yeah. Sorry. Failed shot goes wide and hits one of the tunnel walls. And his quick bonus action was to give Bardic Inspiration to Fang. You felled one beast already, another should be easy for you. Also, he doesn't want her, Also, obviously, she's exhausted and he's trying to help her out. Fang pulls out her crossbow and fires toward the chest of the monster. She hit. 2 damage, thanks to Bardic Inspiration. The Egghead Queen roars and moves forward into the grease, determined to destroy the party. Again, if you enter grease, you gotta make a dex save to keep your balance. The creature slips in the grease and falls flat with an angry roar. It's like, grah! Defendor is holding action. He doesn't want to run in there with that, and he didn't really have anything else useful he could do right now, as far as I'm playing him. Dadecker, I cast Burning Hands. May the flames of Heimdall burn brightly. So, wah. The Egghead Queen makes a dex save. I'm giving it disadvantage for being prone in the grease, and whatever damage it takes will double because of the grease. It's basically motor oil. He's worked with Ash enough. He's familiar with it. Fail. A nat 1 on the disadvantage. For nat 1, I'm going to double the damage. So 4 times the multiplier, which is 3d6. So the initial was 9. Multiply that by 2 for being prone and grease covered, which takes up to 18. Multiply that, 18 by 2, which gets us up to the 36 for the nat 1. The monster roars in fury at the fire and burning. It'll have disadvantage on attacks because it's very visible. It'll have disadvantage on avoiding attacks. Basically like the effect from Fairy Fire. Ash, I pull up my pistol and fire, aiming for its face. She hit it 10 damage. Really catching it upside the face, boom. Darb, I load up my sling again and I toss another stone. He's a kid, he's a casual adventurer. He didn't know what to expect. Miss, your stone flies in the flames, but seems to pop before it can hit the monster. He... and he gives bardic inspiration to Ash. Like, man, you seem good with that pistol. Like, just keep up the good work. I gotta come up with better songs for this. I will try. Or I'll rig Darb out of the story. Either way will make it work. Right, Fang fires a crossbow at the monster, hitting it for 2 damage. So basically, you know, just like catching it in like one of the arms, like... Arr! The Ankeg Queen is badly burnt from the grease fire, and angrily attacks Dadecker, going for a bite. She hits 13 damage, and then 3 acid damage, and is also considered grappled as the beast holds him in its front claws. Ash cries out as the monster holds Dadecker in the air. No! I'm trying to get through this. I'm nearly done. Defendor paws the ground and rushes into the monster with force-empowered rend, hitting it for 5 damage. At this point, I'm saying it's like on the edge of the flame, so basically, oh god, I'm sure there's a thing that I've seen in movies and such. And I'll try and put it in here if I can think of one. So poof. Anyway, you know, basically just hitting it like back into the flames. Hit it for 5 damage. Doesn't force it backward or anything. Anyway, Dadecker. You know, I can feel the monster trying to crush my body with its pincers, and I know I only have one chance to stop it. I cast Inflict Wounds. Placing my hands on the clawed arms around me, I concentrate, praying to Heimdall. Hit for 8 damage. Basically, this is a melee range attack that does, I think it was 3d10 or 3d8 or something like that. Anyway, hit for 8 damage. The creature cries in agony as light seems to enter its body from where Dadecker's hands are. With a final shriek, its grip loosens, dropping Dadecker as it falls backward into the flames, dead. Darb and Fang are still on the guard for a few more seconds in case the beast isn't truly dead. Ash rushes to Dadecker. You okay? Without even waiting for a reply, she casts Cure Wounds, healing him for 9 HP. Dadecker looks to her. Thank you, child. I'm much better now, he sighs. Fang and Darb lead the group back from the burning mass as a group of miners armed with picks and shovels rush into the room. By the gods, one mutters, dropping his pack and kneeling in prayer. The others come to our hero's aid, and the group make their way out of the mine, returning to the foreman to explain the situation. Darb hands over the bag holding the Ankeg's head, and the miners tell the burning monster at the end of the eastern tunnel. That's quite the story. We haven't seen their like in 100 years or more. It troubles me that these beasts were so close. I'm quite fortunate you were able to take it down. One of them large beasties can spawn so many so fast, we likely would have been overrun sooner rather than later. Fang nodded. Yes, well, with the large one gone, perhaps the danger is past. But I would be cautious and thoroughly check before returning to full operation. Foreman Reynolds nodded. Yes, we will. We don't need any more unnecessary risks here. Thank you. He approached each member, shaking their hands. Please, after such an experience, you should all rest here for the evening. There's no complaint from anyone in the party. And scene. So, I'm going to cut for the quick summary. I'm on my last 2 pages of stuff. Alright. That was a fun adventure. I've made some modifications from what I thought of originally, and honestly, this took a few weeks to come up with, you know, taking a few hours here and there, you know, because of, to work on things. And adding things because they seemed like good ideas. Like the boss fight. Originally, it was going to be a chase back to the entrance with 4 regular in pursuit. Because one thing that I've heard is that to stress your players out, you know, you give them a large number of smaller things to deal with, instead of one big thing. I considered all the routes I could come up with, and that felt a bit messy. You know, basically, you know, we sealed the mine, and that doesn't sit well with the miners, or we have to come back in and fight our way to the queen. So I just basically brought the queen to them. I borrowed from my buddy Chris, who I mentioned earlier, who takes part in a Pathfinder campaign, and I've also played D&D with him at least twice, but the campaigns were kind of short-lived, nothing worked out, unfortunately, yada yada. Just establishing he has some D&D cred as well, and other tabletop RPGs. Right. I borrowed it from my buddy Chris, to make a Meteorarch type monster who wants to feed on the new intruders. So one of my weaknesses, I think, as a DM at this point, is I want to make a story and trying to find solid linking points. Hence my suggestion of every episode being, episodic. Like Star Trek, Doctor Who, etc. Oh, hey, new town, new danger, new something. Also supernaturals like that. Yeah. Also, it's sessions like this that I'm making these test runs, for, because I want to make sure that it works, for my team, but also feels like an actual full session or sessions. Like, if I just stopped at, oh, hey, we killed off 2 monsters, da-da-da, that's kind of lame. You beat the 2 monsters, and you're like, okay, that was crazy. Let's go before anything gets worse, and things get worse. It's a bit more interesting. So that felt like more like an actual conclusive session. Obviously, you can, like, cut up sessions, into pieces, like, oh, hey, like, we got through the first combat, what else do we have going on? I can cut it there if I have to, we can just pick it up next time, etc., etc. Just saying. Because sometimes you have to do that, like we did with Connor's campaign a couple times. Or, like, in the current campaign that I'm with my buddies, Tim, Yenny, Marcus, Heather. I know there's interest from other people. I don't think we have anybody else yet. Soon, though, maybe. Right. Anyway, back to my script that I'm trying to follow. As for what you can take from this session, first off, an interesting scenario to get you into the mines. We'll pay you if you investigate for us. On top of, I'll give you a nice treasure if you help me. I also like the, we beat the monsters, oh crap, a big one. That felt like a good twist to go with. I also had the miners, coming in to aid as an option if things got too bad. But they have some TNT for mining with or something, if we got into trouble. This is my second session, so I don't want my team to lose, so early on. Well, I'm being completely honest here. I don't want them to lose at all, but yeah. And for those who use XP, the original ink kegs are worth about $450 each. So 900 for fight number 1. The Queen isn't quite the equivalent, so I would say about 700 XP. So we made about 1600 XP in this mission. So if things go well in the next mission, we'll level up. I realized I didn't take into account the XP from the bandits. They fled except for Curly, who was KO'd. 25 EXP for that. 2700 to go from level 3 to 4. But also, I use Milestone. But having some reference on the amount of EXP is good for my own knowledge. Like, I'm not going to be bound by, like, oh, hey, you need so much XP to level up. Like, if we're close enough, here you go. You got to the next level. And then I'll just start over again. But I just use it for good reference for me, so I know, oh, hey, like, maybe they should level up after this. Maybe. The last thing I want to talk about is fast travel. Honestly, it's just a nice thing that I can bring into the game so I can operate from a center point and work outward if necessary. Basically, they reach Bayerden, and then they kind of establish themselves as like a mercenary group, that takes care of problems. Like, oh no, there's a problem in Nehald. Oh no, there's a problem in... I don't have other city names yet. Crap. At the ports. In the swamp. In the forest. In the mountains, etc. Although, we'll have to actually get those established. Dang it! Crap. I wrote myself into a quarter already on fast travel. Sorry. So I can operate from center point and work outward if necessary. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. A whole town being attacked. I can do that in a village, like, Nehald. But not a large city like Bayerden is supposed to be, that has like a king and such. I keep the tech, in its early stages so it's not abused also. It's a small thing, but I know players can latch onto the smallest details. So it's a new tech, it's coming up, and we only have the 2 locations so far. I guess Elias and Marty will be bigger characters as the series goes on and, like, establish travel stones at different locations. But I think I'm also going to work with the video game rule of you have to go there to get the fast travel points by plugging your key in and activating it. I'm trying to keep it fair. I'm also trying to allow them some freedom. Honestly, after the first fight, and this is the last thing, after the first fight, I fell in love with Guiding Bolt. So good. I need to make a light domain cleric for somebody else's game, and yes, it will be Dadecker. Because Dadecker is based off of a character that I made for the old MMORPG EverQuest. He was just a cleric. They didn't have, light domain, other domains, etc. But he seemed like a good base for this, and I like it. Also, the finishing blows, my goodness, they were so cool. They were so cool. Decapitation! And basically, like I said earlier, like when Cell lost to Gohan. It was so good. That's it for now. I've got to edit all of this now. And then I can move on to session 2, 3. It might be another 0.5 episode where we talk and have dialogue. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But as soon as I get this stuff figured out, I will let you guys know. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. I don't know, man. Like I said, I had fun going through this myself, and then just recording it now was interesting. And yeah. So, sound out from the comment section below. What do you think of this? What do you think for other ideas that I could run with in the future? What more should I go with? And I will do my best. Or if you want to start playing a game with me, by all means. Like, I have my own trial cam party for this, but like if I get people who understand we're trying stuff out and we're just having fun, I can make stuff up for you. So yeah, that's it, I think, I hope. I'm very tired, and I leave to see the eye doctor in about 30 minutes, so I gotta wrap this up. So yeah, thank you for watching, everyone. Have fun, stay safe, keep hydrated, and of course remember, every character, every player, every DM has a story to tell. I'm Valiant Bradley James, the wannabe DM. Until next time, peace.